Hotep, I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only child support education service, the 4D Destroyer. I am not a lawyer. This is not a law firm. I do not advocate that you don't support your human offspring. I simply advocate that you made them in private and you take care of them in private. And today, I'm going to show you and prove to you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you can't sue a judge when the judge is acting under his constitutional duties and oath. All right, but you can sue the contractor. Okay. Now it says sue the judge. What judge? Sue the contractor. It's just that simple. And we're going to go into this. All right. And anybody who's telling you that you cannot sue the judge, the prosecutor, the sheriff, the clerk of the court, because they have immunity, they are dead wrong. And this, all right. So, although I'm not here to prove anybody wrong, what I'm here to do is educate you so you can move forward in what you need to do to get your life in order. All right, which is to get this 4D crime family off your back. Okay, and everything here is quoted. Let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, this is from the Federal Manual of Child Support, page 22. Federal regulations also contain additional requirements related to the expedited process. Proceedings conducted pursuant to either the expedited judicial or expedited administrative process must be presided over by an individual who is not a judge of the court. Okay, so what judge are you going to sue? Okay, now, this is the funny part, and I know you guys know this, but redundancy. Orders established by expedited process must have the same force and effect under state law. Okay, so you see that as orders established by full judicial process. Okay, although either process may provide that a judge first ratify the order. What judge? A judge cannot and does not sign a child support order. A contractor does, but not a judge. Okay. Now this is coming from. I've got excerpts, and gentlemen, if you want to find out and tear down child support, get their contracts. Okay. With one contract, you can destroy. You can get the 4D crime family off your back. All right. More importantly, it allows you to lay down a line of suppressive fire, okay, to keep the enemy at bay. All right. And it allows you to protect your line. Reason being, okay, because with that contract, you can prove that that's not a judge. You're not a judge. All right. And look, what you do is you walk in and say, well, sir, ma'am, if you decide to go, can I ask a question? Sure, I'll let you ask a question, right? Are you a judge or are you a 45 C.F.R. 75.2 contractor? So I ask them. All right. Then when they say, I don't know what you're talking about, you take the actual contract in there. Well, I have the contract here between the executive branch and the judicial branch. That's a violation of separation of powers. Number two, if you're sitting there in the capacity of a contractor, you're an administrator for the agency, not the court. All right. So another thing is the court shall certify, this is from the actual contract, that all court hearings are conducted in compliance with 4D of the Social Security Act. Number one, it's not a court hearing, so that's a lie. All right. Number two, Title 4D of the Social Security Act was never enacted It's a non-positive law title, which makes it commercial, which makes it contractual. Okay. This is not a court hearing. All right, and it's being enforced under color of law. All right. Now, because it's commercial, it has to. All right, commercial requires a contract, as we explained in Penhurst State School and Hospital versus Haldeman. Such an agreement is in the nature of a contract. The state promises to provide certain services to private individuals in exchange for which the federal government promises to give the state funds. All right, that child support enforcement agency, gentlemen, even though it's in the Department of Health and Human Services or Attorney General, doesn't matter. That is not a state agency. That is a single and separate entity that's operating in the state under a contract with the feds. Okay, the federal OCSE oversees the National Child Support Program. All right, so the feds supervise the states. That's who the states work for. All right, but it is contractual. Now, here it is again. And this is from, we pulled this out of Blessings versus Freestone. In contract law, when such an arrangement is made, A promises to pay B money. So A is the federal government. B is the what? The 4D agency operating in the state. In exchange for which B, okay, promises to provide C, that's baby mama, the person who receives the benefit of exchange of promises between the two others. C is called a third-party beneficiary. That's another reason why you can't go after baby mama. All right. Again, coming from the contract, okay, the following terms and definitions apply to this rule and its supplemental rules. Now, this is from Black's Laws. It didn't come from the contract, but we're going to get right to what it says. All right, and this is directly from the contract breakdown from the state. Contract refers to a private or governmental entity with whom the CSEA enters into a contract. All right, so it says governmental entity with whom the CSEA. The CSEA is not a governmental entity, gentlemen. Okay, governmental entity includes the following entities in the same county as the CSEA, Child Support Enforcement Agency. And so here, all right, so this is a contractor. The court, which means the judge, is a contractor. The prosecutor is a contractor. The sheriff is a contractor. The clerk of court is a contractor. The recorder's office is a contractor. The treasurer's office is a contractor, and any other public governmental agencies or officials are contractors if they're performing services under Title 4D. All right, now let's look at the word contractor from two other different perspectives, Black's Laws Dictionary and the Code of Federal Regulations. Contractor. This term is strictly applicable to any person who enters into a contract. All right, I'll leave it there. Okay, now 45 C.F.R. 3075.2. Contractor means an entity that receives a contract as defined in contract. Let's look at what a 4D contract is. A 45 C.F.R. 32.34 contract means a mutually binding legal relationship obligating a governmental entity to provide 4D services in 4D cases and perform other administrative duties of who? The Child Support Enforcement Agency that pertain to a 4D cases in return for payment by the CSEA. They are taking bribes. Okay? This is so when you think you're going to court, you're not going to court. That is all from the Child Support Enforcement Agency. Okay? It has nothing to do with the court. All right? It has nothing to do with the law. It has nothing to do with the Constitution. And it has nothing to do with judicial activities as prescribed by the law. Okay? These are administrative duties that they're performing for a private corporation. Check it out. Look. And here we'll go. Private entity means and this is on the contract. Private entity means a company, organization, or individual that does not meet the definition of governmental entity. Let's go back up to the definitions of governmental entity. Includes, look, does anybody see the Child Support Enforcement Agency here listed as a governmental entity? No, because it is not. Okay? The government does not go into a contract with itself. Why would the government contract with itself? Okay? It goes into a contract with the 42 USC 654.3 single and separate unit operating in the state. Okay? The Child Support Enforcement Agency is under it's under what's called the Social or Human Services Umbrella Corporation. An umbrella corporation acts like as an agent to employer to agency contractors who work on a fixed rate contract. Okay, so if there's an order with a judge's signature on it, I'm sorry, that's a void order. That's a contractor. Okay, this is a private corporation operating in the state. 42 USC 652A states that the federal office of child support is a separate unit. Separate means apart by itself. But when it moves into the state, it becomes single and separate, alone, apart and by itself. It's not connected to anything. Okay? So let's keep it moving. So here you have a judge, right? Alleged judge who signs a warrant for your arrest, and the sheriff's office affects that warrant. Can't you sue these two people? All right, you want to know how you can sue them? All right, we all know that. So that judge, when he signed that warrant, he did that. That was a contractual obligation. Look, what? 4D contract means a mutually binding legal relationship obligating a governmental entity to provide 4D services. Warrants for child support is a 4D service. That's a contractual obligation. That's not a judicial privilege or duty. Okay? Now, here it is right here, gentlemen. Okay? And you can find this on the back of all the contracts if you look. And if you don't have it, it still applies. Independent capacity for the contractor. The contractor and its agents, employees, and subcontractors will act in performance of this 4D contract in an independent capacity and what? Not as officers or employees or agents of the state or the Child Support Enforcement Agency. It doesn't say the state Child Support Enforcement Agency. It says the state or. They're two. This is separate. It's not a state agency. Okay? If you read the contract, it'll tell you that. So, if someone's telling you you can't sue a judge because they have immunity, yes, if the judge is performing his judicial function, sure, he has immunity, but not in Title 4D. He's not a judge. All right, and it says it right here. You're a contractor, and as a contractor, you're not officer or employee or agents of the state or the Child Support Enforcement Agency. You're all by yourself, buddy. Take this lawsuit. Give me my money. All right? They don't get immunity. Now, here's some case laws, right? Immunity does not extend to acts which are clearly outside of their jurisdiction. They don't get immunity when they are performing contractual obligations for a non-governmental entity, for a private entity. Okay? When acting to enforce statute and its subsequent amendments, the present date, the judge of the municipal court is acting as an administrative officer and not in a judicial capacity. Courts in administering or enforcing statutes do not act judicially, but merely ministerially. And they will tell you this is in accordance with state law, this and this and that, right? Okay. Now, here we go. A judge ceases to sit as a judicial officer because the governing principle of the administrative law provides that courts are prohibited from substituting their evidence, testimony, record arguments, and rationale for that of the agency. Who is the agency? The Child Support Enforcement Agency. Additionally, courts are prohibited from substituting their judgment for that of the agency. What agency? The Title 4D agency, the single and separate unit operating in the state. Courts in administrative issues are prohibited from even listening to or hearing arguments, presentation, or rationale. Okay? So, gentlemen, a judge does not have immunity. Okay? A judge has immunity. A 4D contractor, a 45 C.F.R. 75.2 contractor does not have immunity. All right? If you want freedom, you got to dig, gentlemen. You got to dig deep. See, we like to take it here. We boldly go where no people you don't even know where it's at. And we're showing it to you. So this is a small dissertation to show you that if you've been wronged by a contractor who's impersonating a judge, and also impersonating a public officer is a crime, isn't it? False personation, look that up. You're impersonating a judge. You ain't no judge, you're a contractor. You're under a 4D contract. And let me see something here. Let's see something here. All right, let me show you something. We're going to go to types of contracts. All right, it says the types of contracts that the CSEA may elect to enter into include, but are not limited to, look, a contract with the prosecutor, to provide private attorney shit, a contract with the prosecutor to provide service of process, including warrants of arrest, a contract with the sheriff to provide service of process, including warrants for arrest. All right, every time a sheriff arrests somebody for child support, they get paid for that shit. All right, that benefits their Title 4D contract. All right, check this out. A contract with the court or clerk of court in the same county as the CSEA to provide the duties of a clerk of court that are initiated by the CSEA. Whoa! You're initiating actions for a private corporation under a contractual obligation? You don't get immunity. Look, a 4D contract with the court in the same county as the CSEA to provide magistrate services the CSEA may elect to purchase. All right. Number 7, a 4D contract with the court in the same county as the CSEA. All right. And I know you all see this for probation services to provide enforcement duties that target only individuals placed on probation for non-payment of child support when the enforcement duties of the probation are. All right. You can find that yourself. All right. So, gentlemen, and then here it is right here. The court shall certify that all hearings are conducted with compliance with the Title 4D Social Security Act. All right. Non-positive law title. They're acting under color of law. Okay. You can sue them under 1983 if you so chose. That is your discretion, gentlemen. And then when they come back and motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction and judicial immunity, guess what? Bam. You'll already have all that made up. I'm sorry, you don't get immunity. See, again, gentlemen, when you write documents, your documents are for the judge. Remember that. That's who your documents are speaking to. Okay, don't just slap some stuff down. All right, give the judge something to read. And when you give it to him to read, all right, make sure that it keeps his attention. All right, what you want that judge to be saying when he reads your documents, you want that judge to be saying, damn, I didn't know this existed. Let me go look this up. Wow, damn, he's right. Give it to him. My hands are tied. Okay, that's the objectivity of creating affidavits, gentlemen. When that judge reads your affidavit, all right, you want two things to happen. You want to piss that judge off, right? And the reason why you want to piss him off because the gig is up. Your friends are busted. And also, gentlemen, if you decide to file something in a state court, do not forget. Tell them you want a detached and neutral judge. You want a judge who is under oath, operating under the Constitution and not under a 4D contract. If you get a 4D contractor, you're going to lose. You have to specifically demand, I want a detached and neutral judge. If you get a detached and neutral judge, all right, and your documentation is on point, gentlemen, it's a wrap. Now, I'm not talking federal court. I'm talking, if you decide to take it to state court. Federal court, you don't have to worry about that. But the judge does not get immunity, okay? The contractor does not get immunity, okay? And here it is right here. This is the contract. Again, independent capacity of the contractor. The contractor and his agents, employees, and subcontractors will act in performance of this 4D contract in an independent capacity and not as officers or employees or states or agents of the state or the Child Support Enforcement Agency, okay? So right here, if they're not officers, employees, or agents of the state, okay, then they have no immunity. That's exactly what that says. The Child Support Enforcement Agency is not a state agency. It does not have immunity. A corporation cannot be immune from lawsuit. This is not a state agency. Matter of fact, this is an extension of the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement. It's operating in the state. The Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement is a federal agency. The federal government is a foreign corporation with respect to the state. Any state, corpus juris secundum, subsection 883. All right. So, sue the judge. What judge? Sue the contractor. All right. Interest ain't in the judge. All right, because you're not dealing with a judge. You never did. You never will when it comes to Title 4D. All right. What you're dealing with is a contractor. And the beauty of it is you can prove that they're a contractor. And Once you prove that they're a contractor, what immunity? What immunity? You don't get immunity as a contractor. You're way out of your judicial league, buddy. You ain't no judge. And if that judge so ratify, that means the judge signed it, right? But don't forget what ratify means. Let me show you. All right, if you have not heard that word before, past it. Ratify. Listen to very carefully. The final approval of what? A voidable transaction by one who theretofore had the optional right to relieve himself of its obligations. So that order, if it's ratified, that means it is a voidable transaction. All right, it's voidable. It's a voidable transaction. All right, look, that order, it has to be ratified. All right, it's a voidable transaction. How do you void it? You sue the contractor who signed it. You sue the sheriff who locked you up. You sue this contractor for signing a warrant. You sue the contractor for acting for deprivation of rights under color of law. 42 U.S.C. 1983. They can be sued, gentlemen. Once again, you have come, and once again, you have learned. Take what you have learned here, study it, master the 4D technique, okay? And guess what? Go shut them down. That's why we're America's only child support or 4D education service. And that's why we're the most powerful channel on YouTube. Okay. We're bringing it. This is what you need. Okay. You can study. There's all kind of stuff floating around out there, but check this out. All you got to do is ask one question. Are you a judge? Well, no. All right. So here's the thing. If they say I'm not a judge, okay, well, I won't talk to you. I want to talk to a judge. Well, we're here, sir. I just told you I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to a judge. Now, fetch a judge, or I'll be on my way. It's just that simple. Now, if that by chance that works in your behalf, when the judge comes in, or they take you, you go to another courtroom, whatever, sir, then you ask them, sir, are you a judge? Yes. Are you a detached and neutral judge under your oath of office, under the Constitution, or are you under a 4D contract? Because if you're not a detached, neutral judge, I don't want to speak to you. I want to speak to a detached and neutral judge. I'll do a video on that later. All right. You can't go to a pimp, right, and ask a pimp to let his hoe off for the night. It's not going to happen. You can't go to a pimp whose hoe is pulling in like 2, 3, whatever, 500 a week, whatever, right, to let his hoe go. No, it's because he's going to lose his money. So you got to set these people up. All right. There is no such thing as 4D court. There is no such thing as a judge under 4D. There are only contractors. That's all that they are. Okay? These people are nothing more than contractors. All this, contractors. They're not officers, employees, or agents of the state or the 4D agency. All right? They do not get immunity. Okay? They do not get immunity. So again, do your research, gentlemen. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't sue. You can sue. Like I said, you can't sue a judge, but you can damn sure sue a contractor. I'm the Amin Osiris. If you need assistance, bag my email, 4D_destroyer@yahoo.com. And gentlemen, it's almost done. The website is hopefully we're looking at a launch date of around the 23rd or the 24th. Yep. And I'm really excited. We just, we got to do a few more tweaks, but it's coming along. And like I said, this one will not be getting hacked. We have a whole new entire server. We have a whole new security team. We have a whole new IT team that is going to be administering that site. All right. It is going to be powerful. We're going to be adding tons of content. We're going to have how-to videos. All right, it's going to be off the hook. And of course, the nationally famous Amin Osiris resource library. Okay, and now we're adding a video how-to gallery. Okay, and you'll be able to, again, get on there. You can schedule appointments. You can schedule live classes, private classes. All right, you can order help, documents, whatever you need. All right, it's a one-stop place that you can come and find out everything that you'll need to know about the 4D crime family, and you can only find it at what? Deception Stoppers. So it's no longer going to be deceptionstoppers.com, gentlemen. What it's going to be, it's labeled 4D Destroyer. All right, and I'm telling you, it's going to be the hardest of the hard. Okay, and nobody, and I mean nobody, has a power. I'm talking generating some serious power, and this one will not be getting hacked. And trust me, gentlemen, when I tell you I've dumped some serious cheddar up in here to get this website up and running for you boys, it's real shit, because I want you to have the best. I want you to get the best possible education, and I want to turn all of you into Title 4D destroyers. But more importantly, I want to shut the 4D crime family down for good. Why don't you help me out? All right, gentlemen, you know where to find me. You have your assignment. Find that contract. Start asking the right questions, and you'll start throwing a wrench in the gears. Hotep.